What's going on YouTube? Lloyd of Houston coming at you with a video. Victory Monday video. First Victory Monday video, finally. 713 the Space City, we in the building. Alright, so after the first 3 weeks of not winning a game, though it's a reason that we were on 3 coming in. But Houston finally gets on the win column by shutting out the Titans by a score of 26-0, which is their first shutout win since week 12 of 2010 against the same team we beat, the Texans beat, which was 20-0 back in 2010. Of course, know about that infamous fight between Finnegan and Andre Johnson. But I want to give my takeaways on this game. Of course, you gotta take the good with the bad, as they say. The O-line still pretty shaky. The penalties, still committing boneheaded penalties. And 3 was on the offensive line. 1 on Jake Andrews, 2 on Titus Howard. 1 holding, and the other, I forgot what the other penalty was. Oh, a hold. I think it was a holding, because he was holding Jeffrey Simmons, who got a sack on C.J. Stroud. And Arden Key was another defender to sack Stroud. And Stroud, he's still getting beat up out there. I mean, sure, the O-line got to protect better, but I also feel like Stroud has to do a better job of protecting himself a lot better, because if he gets getting pounded on like the way he is now, it's a chance that he might be on the shelf, just like Joe Burrow. I mean, I don't even want to think about how long he'll be out. I mean, yeah, Stroud's still getting beat up. Run defense still pretty shaky too. Since the Titans had run game was pretty solid out there. I mean, yeah, Danielle Hunter got himself 2 sacks on the day. Derek Stingley, shout out to him. I mean, I thought he was going to miss today as well, but, if it means saving him for that Baltimore game. But, man, much respect to Stingley, though. Battled the oblique injury. I didn't think he was going to play, but damn right he did. Got him a pick, and got his 12th career pick at that, too. So, much respect to Stingley. The pass defense was nice. Had only gave up 108 yards through the air, but defense, gave up under 200 yards on today. So the defense is under 200 yards, but run defense got to improve though, because the opponent they face next still notorious for running the ball. I mean, yeah, they got beat down by the Chiefs by a score of 37-20. Yeah, the Ravens are struggling. Their defense, and it's pretty kind of struggling too, but doesn't erase the fact that Houston needs to, get their run defense together, to play more, not do a better job of not allowing running backs to gain solid yardage on the ground, Like, let's say averaging 5 yards a game against the Texans. Got to do a better job of stopping the run for sure. I can prove on that. Just like the discipline, improve on that as well. Shout out to Woody Marks though. Had himself a game. Had a TD through the air and on the ground. Had over 100 total yards. Shout out to him. And CJ Stroud, had himself an efficient day out there, coming alive in that 4th quarter. Only 6 incompletions. 1 TD to Woody Marks and a TD to the Jaden Higgins. Finally. And if I had to guess what my play of the day was, completing the 2nd and 33 long ball to Nico Collins. I mean, I'll have to admit this, Stroud overthrew Dalton Schultz, which was a touchdown. I mean, come to think of it, Stroud would have had 3 touchdowns today had he not overthrew Dalton Schultz. That's just how I mean, just seeing that for what it is. I mean, is there always room for improvement? Absolutely. One thing I noticed today was that D'Amico Ryans wasn't calling the defensive plays today. But Matt Burks called the defensive plays today, and hey, I mean, my thoughts on that is, I don't care who calls the plays on defense. Just as long as the defense do what they supposed to do, that's all that matters, especially on a disciplined and consistent level. So, yeah, shout out to the defense for not allowing the Titans to score a single point. Yeah, that Titans kicker missed 2 field goals, and yeah, Fairbairn did miss him a field goal. I mean, come to think of it, point shaving, yeah, here and there. And Houston didn't really get into the end zone till like the red zone, I should say, till like the closing seconds of the third quarter. And yeah, beginning of the fourth quarter, they finally scored their first red zone touchdown of 2025. So and come to think of it, score could have been 36-0. Could have scored their first 30-plus burger on the Titans. Had it not been for a missed field goal and an overthrow for C.J. Stroud. But not Stroud. Collins had himself a solid day, and threw the ball to Christian Kirk. Got to get him involved a little bit better, and also going forward, got to get Jaden Higgins more and more. Get the rookies involved at that. Jalen Noel, Higgins, and Woody Marks. Get them guys more involved in the pass and ground game. Nick Caley called a better fourth quarter. Got 20 points in the fourth quarter, which was huge. I wish they could have did a little scoring in the first and second quarter, or even the third quarter. But hey, 20 points in the fourth quarter, I'm all for it. Could have been more, but hey, it is what it is. It is what the hell it is. So Baltimore Ravens is up next, which still a real chance that the Texans lose that game. Cause hey, I don't really trust the Texans, only because they don't always match up well consistently against Baltimore. Cause every time they played the Ravens, they get burnt, in which I'll explain more about that in a Ravens preview video. But hey, I'm gonna enjoy this win because the next game ain't always promised, especially as in the NFL, as an NFL fan of the Texans for sure. So Texans win by a score of 26-0, and of course I got to shout out Titan Anderson, and also shout out to his. Wishing his, Titan Anderson, if you see this, just taking the time out to wish your wife a happy birthday. Big salute. But hey, I'm going to get on out of here. And hey, go Texans, 713 Space City. I'm gone.